अष्टपञ्चाशत् सर्गः ततस्त्रिशङ्कोर्वचनम् श्रुत्वा क्रोधसमन्वितम् ऋषिपुत्रशतं राम राजानमिदमब्रवीत्. So obviously, right, assuming all vaśiṣṭhas are good sons, would they be happy with this? When somebody comes to them after for what their father denied, they would also be not happy, right? Hey man, what nonsense are you talking? Right? Krodha samanvitam. Hey, if my father denied, you think we are corrupt guys or what? So krodha samanvitam, with anger. Tataha triśankor vachanam shrutva. By listening to that prayer of Triśanku. Poor Triśanku, he was a good man, right? Satyavadi. We just, in his very description, beginning, he said, of course, he doesn't speak untruth. So he has revealed everything correctly. I went to your father denied. He explained everything to me also. In spite of that, I'm a fool, I'm asking. So that vachanam shrutva, krodha samanvitam, Rishiputra Shatam, all the 100 sons of Vaśiṣṭha, Rama, Rajanam idam abravit. They replied back this to the king Raja, to Triśanku. What did they say? Pratyakhyato hi durbuddhe.
Pratyakhyato hi durbuddhe.
Guruna
satyavadina.
Tam katham samatikramya. Shakhantaramupeivan. Good points here. There are two good points. So first thing is Guruna Satyavadina Pratyakhyataho hi. You are already narrated in reply to your request by the truth-speaking Guru. Do you think he has what is it called? Do you think he has taken an excuse because he didn't have time or because he had other appointments? So just to escape, he has taken an excuse in denying you? No, he's a Satyavadi. He only speaks truth, the reality. He told you that by reality, it is not possible to go to that world with this body. So Guruna Satyavadina Pratyakhyato hi. In spite of that, if you have come, what are you? Durbuddhe. That is the addressing. You have durbuddhi. You are not a good guy anymore. Right? If a guru denies, you should never continue further. Whatever might be our desire, whatever might be our understanding, if our guru has denied, then that means we should keep it aside. We should put it aside. If we don't do that, then we are durbuddhi. That is the first qualifier given here. Durbuddhe, Guruna Satyavadina Pratyakhyato hi. You are already denied or explained by Guru. Tam samatikramya. How did you think we will overcome, or how did you think we will
overturn?
Overpass? No. Overturn. How did you think we will go against his explanation? Go over his what is that English?
Overturn.
Atikramya. Atikramanam. How did you think we will trespass? Violate?
Yeah.
How did katham? Katham is how. How do you think will we trespass Guru's vachanam? Then he said, Shakhantaram upeivan. You want to now convert Shakha antaram. So convert from one Shakha to the other Shakha. Shakha here is, following a branch of a discipline. Your Vaśiṣṭha's son, Sishya. That means you have to follow his principles. So you are a vaśiṣṭhi. From that, you want to convert, because now you are seeking another guru. You still have your guru, you are seeking somebody else. It is conversion. Shakhantaram, matantaram, dharmantaram, we say, right? Conversion, switching from one to the other. So you are, while you still have your guru, you are upeyivan. Upeyi is you have come to seek another gurus now, another set of gurus, which is bad. So durbuddhi. So first thing is never cross or never go beyond Guru's instructions, even if we cannot comprehend it now, even if we cannot understand it now, follow it. And a substantiating statement of this in Bhagavad Gita is Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna Paradharmo Bhayavaha. Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Svanushthitat. So even if we don't understand, even if it seems like a bit inconvenient, unfulfilling in following our own dharma, follow it. Even so, paradharmat svanushthitat. That is, at is Panchami Vibhakti there. In comparison to paradharma, which seems like wow, and in fact, literally, even for me now, I'm suddenly I recollected myself several times in despair. I think, Muslims are better. At least 5 times they are doing namaz regularly. How many of us are doing Trisandhya at least? Or how many of us are doing regularly other pujas that is prescribed for us in our families? I get into that despair. So, anushtitam, samyak anushtitam, su anushtitam is swanushtitam. Swanushtitam paradharmat swanushthitat vigunaha swadharmaha shreyaha. Even though they are doing very well, 5 times namaz, standing up to their cause all together, ours is still better. Staying in our dharma, even though we have our own problems, even though we have our own weaknesses, it is still better to continue in our dharma. Why? Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha, he's saying. And moreover, dying for our swadharma is shreyas, is better, is the welfare, is the best for us. Because paradharmaha bhayavaha, other dharmas may seem glittery, but essentially they are in the end going to give pain and so are terrifying. Paradharmo bhayavaha. Anyway, so coming back to that all that essence is essentially what is being also told by these Guruputras, saying Shakhantaram upeyivan, dharmantaram upeyivan, in a way. That is what they are warning, cautioning, and in fact shouting at triśanku, saying, don't you ever change your gurus. Stick to your guru. If he says no, even if you don't understand why, even if your desire is still driving you crazy, stick to it.
What is the dhatu in upeyivan?
Huh?
What is the root in upeyivan?
Upeyi, upa, e dhatu.
E dhatu.
E dhatu.
E dhatu.
E dhatu.
To go, upay to seek. Upaya is a very common word.
Yeah.
Upeyivan. So gatavan. You went to seek others while you already have your guru. So that is equal to conversion. Don't go for conversion. There's a beautiful shloka for all of us. Let us say this one more time. Pratyakyato hi durbuddhe.
Pratyakyato hi durbuddhe.
Guruna satyavadina.
Guruna satyavadina.
Tam katham samatikramya.
Tam
Shakantaram upeyivan.
Shakantaram Devam.
Now, Shakantaram, also for our, because we have our Vibhag Karyavahika here. Shakantaram, we have suddenly the science of changes his Shaka. No, I'm going to Sri Krishna Shaka. I'm going to Bharat Mata Shaka. Because now that seems like big number and all. No Shakantaram. Stick to your Shaka. Even if it is in small number, do your best to make it better than jumping to another Shaka. Shakantaram Upeyivan. Ikshvakunam hi sarvesham.
Ikshvakunam hi sarvesham.
Purodha paramo guruhu.
Purodha paramo guruhu.
Nachati kramitum shakyam.
Nachati kramitum shakyam.
Vachanam satyavadinaha.
Vachanam satyavadinaha.
So for whatever Triśanku praised them as, oh, for Ikshvakus, Purodhaha, you are our ultimate destiny, so you make me do that yajna. They are replying back the same thing, saying, Sarvesham Ikshvakunam Purodha hi paramaha guruhu. You know it, you yourself have said, for all Ikshvakus, Purodhas or Purohitas, they are the Parama Guru. They are the ultimate Guru. So, nacha atikramitum shakyam. So you cannot trespass, you cannot violate, you cannot go against. Atikramitum shakyam. Satyavadinaha vachanam. All of them are Satyavadis, those Gurus. That Guru is Satyavadi. His vachanam, his instruction, his guidance, his statement, you should not violate, you should not trespass. Nacha atikramitum shakyam vachanam satyavadinaha. 8:30. Should we do one more? Let's do one last one. Ashakyamiti chovacha.
Ashakyamiti yovacha.
Chovacha.
Chovacha.
Vaśiṣṭho Bhagavan Rishihi.
Vaśiṣṭho Bhagavan Rishihi.
Tam vayam vai samahartum.
Tam vayam he samahartum. Samahartum.
I should not have even put this screen share. Then you would have listened and repeated correctly. Listen. Tam vayam vai samahartum.
Tam vayam vai samahartum.
Kratum shaktaha.
Kratum shaktaha.
Katam tava. So ashakyam iti cha uvacha vaśiṣṭha Bhagavan Rishihi Vaśiṣṭha already said ashakyam tam vayam katham samahartum shaktaha. How can we execute that which was told as impossible by Bhagavan Rishi Vaśiṣṭha? How can we do that? We cannot do that. So tava kratum vayam katham samahartum shaktaha. That yajna, that kratu, that yajna, yes. How can we do it? The one which was denied by Vaśiṣṭha, which was told as impossible by Vaśiṣṭha. We are not fools. We don't want to take up something that was already told as impossible by our Guru Vaśiṣṭha Bhagavan. Balishastvam narasreshtha.
Balishastvam narasreshtha.
Gamyatam swapuram punaha.
Gamyatam swapuram punaha.
Yajane Bhagavan Shaktaha.
Yajane Bhagavan Shaktaha.
Trailokyasyapi parthiva.
Trailokyasyapi parthiva.
O parthiva. Balishaha tvam Balishaha tvam gamyatam. Swapuram punaha gamyatam. Balishaha tvam.
Childish.
Balishaha. Childish.
Childish.
Ish suffix also in English comes from shaha. Balishaha. Childish. Hey, this is childish, not childlike. Balishaha. From Balishaha. You are like childish. Actually, meaning given is murkha. Childish is also murkha, right? You are like, don't be foolish. Don't be foolish. Swaparam punaha gamyatam narasreshtha. O king, best of the people, best of the men, go back to your city. Don't be foolish about this. Bhagavan shaktaha Trailokyasyapi Bhagavan Yajane Shaktaha Parthiva. Only God can do that. Ordinary men like us, we cannot do that. Bhagavan Shaktaha Yajane Trailokyasya Api Parthiva. O king, only God can do that. We cannot do that. So don't be foolish. Go back to your city, is what they have said. Avamanam chatat kartum.
Avamanam cha tat kartum
Tasya sakshyamahe katham.
tasya sakshamahe katham.
Avamanam ityardham.
Avamanam ityardham.
Tat. Oh no, okay. This is only one and a half line here. So avamanam cha tat kartum tasya avamanam cha tat kartum katham sakshyamahe. Right, because you are childish, go back, right? So tasya avamanam. In fact, there is another way, another meaning here. Bhagavan here is
Vaśiṣṭha.
Vaśiṣṭha himself also.
Vaśiṣṭha himself. Yeah.
So Vaśiṣṭha alone, if at all, Vaśiṣṭha alone can do that. Only he is capable of doing it. If he has said no, and we even attempted to do it, tasya avamanam, it will be insult to him. So katham sakshyamahe, how can we tolerate it? How can we be capable of doing insulting? How can we be capable of insulting Bhagavan Krishna Vaśiṣṭha, who already has said, who is capable of it, and in spite of that has said not possible, we shall not do it. Vinayaka namastubhyam satatam modaka priya nirvignam kuruno deva sarvakaryeshu sarvada saraswati namastubhyam varade kamarupini vidyarambham karishyamaha siddhir bhavatu no sada gurur brahma gurur vishnu gurur devo maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorami Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanani Apadama Pahattaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamya Ramaya Rama Bhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Shri Raghavam Dashrathatmajamapramayam Sitapatim Raghukulan Vayaratnadipam Ajanubahum Aravinda Dalayataksham Ramam Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami Shri Raghurama Charu Tulasi Daladhama Shamakshama Shringara Gunabhirama Trijagannuta Shaurya Ramalalama Durvaru Kabandha Rakshasa Virama Jagajjana Kalmasharnavottarakanama Bhadragiridasharathi Karunapayonidhi Anjaneya Matipatalananam Kanchanadrikamaniya Vigraham Parijatatarumulavasinam Bhavayami Pavamananandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakanjalim Bashpavari Paripurnalochanam Marutim Namatarakshasantakam Buddhir Balam Yashodhairyam Nirbhayatvamarogata Ajadyam Vakpatutvancha Hanumatsmaranad Bhavet Pujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam. Jatana Panchangam Adya Lavanama Samvatsare Uttarayane Shishirruthau Maghamase Shukla Pakshe Katiti Dvadashi Titihi till 8/12 So by the time we complete our class, it will be Trayodashi will be starting. And Punarvasu Nakshatram, very good for us. So Sri Rama's Nakshatram, it's there all throughout the night till 1:23 midnight. Preeti Yoga till 10:46 a.m. Balavakaranam till 8:12, followed by Kaulavakaranam till 9:08 p.m. Followed, yeah, so that is sufficient. Sarvebhyah Suprabhatam. So yesterday we jumped to 58th Sarga. So let's continue from there. So yesterday, after vaśiṣṭha denied or said it is impossible, Triśanku went to meet with his sons and plead them as the next alternative to do the yajna for him, by which sashariram he can go to Devalokam, Swargalokam. That was his wish, desire. To which we saw, being good sons of great Rishi vaśiṣṭha, Maharshi vaśiṣṭha, Brahmarshi vaśiṣṭha, Bhagavan Rishi vaśiṣṭha. That's how he keeps referring him. So being sons of such great Rishi, they have finally said, Avamanam cha tat kartum tasya sakshamahe katham. Avamanam. So that was his ending. So tasya avamanam tat kartum katham sakshyamahe. If our father has already disapproved and you come and approach us, do you think we are corrupted? Do you think we are we ignore our fathers, we disrespect our fathers' knowledge? No. If we do, then we are insulting him. So how did you think that we will insult our father? Katham tasya avamanam cha tat kartum sakshyamahe. How can we insult him? By taking up this project that you wanted us to take up. So that's where we stopped yesterday at 158.6. Let's continue. Tesham tadvachanam shrutva.
Tesham tadvajanam shrutva.
Krodha paryakulaksharam.
Krodha paryakulaksharam.
Saraja punarevaitan.
Saraja punarevaitan.
Idam vachanam abravit.
Idam vachanam abravit.
So Tesham tadvachanam shrutva. After listening to the lessons or corrections given by the good sons, Raja Krodha paryakula aksharam, with krodha, anger, filled with fury and anger. What? You also reject? What is this? Kind of a krodha. Krodha paryakulam means surrounded by krodha and in grief because of that. So krodha paryakulaksharam saha raja punaha eva etan. Etan means unto these sons. Etan idam vachanam abravit. He said this statement. So he replied. Essentially, Raja replied back in anger. What did he reply? Prakyatosmi guruna.
Pratyakhyatosmi guruna.
Pratyakhyatosmi guruna. Guruputrais tathaivacha.
Guruputrais tathaivacha.
Anyam gatim gamishyami.
Anyam gatim gamishyami.
Swasti vostu tapodhana.
Swasti vostu tapodhana.
So he's saying, okay, by you also pratyakhyatah asmi. Guruna, Guru Putrai tathaivacha. By Guru and Guru's sons also, I am denied. I am disapproved. My request is disapproved. Okay. Anyam gatim gamishyami. I'll go and find another alternative. This fellow is so pursuant that he's saying, okay, Anyam gatim gamishyami. Okay, he's bidding proper our traditional farewell. Swastivostu. And we said, right? Swasti vaha. Vaha is to you all in Bahuvachanam. So Swastivostu tapodhana. He didn't lose his temper. He got angry. But he said, okay, Swastivostu. Goodbye to you all. So we said we will remember these our greetings from Ramayanam. Bhadram te, Bhadram vaha. Te is to you, vaha is to you all. Bhadram te, Bhadram vaha. Swasti vaha, swasti te astu. Swasti vostu tapodhana. Rishiputrastu tatchutva.
Sorry. Rishiputra.
Rishiputrastu tatchutva.
Rishiputra tatpucha.
Tatchutva. Vakyam Ghorabhisamhitam.
Vakyam Ghorabhisamhitam.
Shepuh Paramasankruddhaha.
Shepuh Paramasankruddhaha.
Chaṇḍālatvam gamishyasi.
Chaṇḍālatvam gamishyasi.
Rishiputraha tatchutva. What? In spite of we telling it is incorrect, it is not possible, you still want to go and find other alternative? So, Paramasankruddhaha, with a lot of indignancy and anger, Rishiputraha, tasya vakyam tatchutva, ghora abhisamhitam, with in spite of their hitam, welfare, samhitam, in spite of their welfare and giving, in spite of their seeking his welfare and explaining that it is not right and it is not possible to think of going in this physical material body to Swargaloka, and that will unnecessarily create potential abuses later, you still want to pursue it from somebody else. That means so far you have treated us as your Kula Guru and we are Guru Putra. Both of us have denied and you are still wanting to pursue it. That means you are insulting us. You are in a way firing us or whatever, right? You are displeasing us. So Shepuhu. Shepuhu means Shapam Dattavantaha in past tense. Litlakara it is called.
Litlakara.
So Shepuhu, what did they say? Paramasankruddhaha. With lot of anger, all of them have given the shapa, saying, Chaṇḍālatvam gamishyasi. You are not seeming like anymore a reasonable person with whom we can converse, convince, analytical person who can think, understand, and obey. Finally, so you are behaving like a Chandala who does not have brains, who's dumb, who's useless fellow, and so who cannot be living in a in a civilized society. So Chaṇḍālatvam gamishyasi. You will become a Chandala. Go. Now you are behaving like a Chandala. So be a Chandala is the shapa all the Guru Putraha have given with lot of anger to Triśanku. Eva muktva mahatmano.
Eva muktva mahatmano.
Vivishuste swamashramam.
Vivishuste swamashramam.
So swam ashramam. Swam means their own. Ashramam. So vivishuhu. Vish is dhatu for enter. Vivishuhu. Praveshaha. Viveshaha. Samaveshaha. All these are various derived words for different situations of enter. So vivishuhu is again litlakar, past tense. They entered their own respective ashramam. Evam uktva, thus saying, thus giving the chapa to the Triśanku to become a Chandala, and they went left back to their respective ashramas. Atharatriam vyatitayam.
Atharatriam vyatitayam.
Raja Chaṇḍālatvam gataha.
Raja Chaṇḍālatvam gataha.
Nīla vastradharo nīlaha.
Nīla vastradharo nīlaha.
Parusho dhvastamurdhvajaha.
Parusho dhvastamurdhvajaha.
So atharatriam vyatitayam. Again Sati Saptami is the prayoga here. Vyatitayam, passed. After the night passed away, Raja chaṇḍālatvam gataha. So as the shapa was given, he has obeyed it and accepted Chaṇḍālata. He went into Chaṇḍālata. Chaṇḍāla is, we all know, right? I mean, the lowest uncivilized, most uncivilized profession and most uncivilized people. They are Chaṇḍālas. Chaṇḍālatvam gataha. How did he now dress himself? Nila vastradharaha. Nila means not necessarily blue, dark colored dress. For us, normally we always wear Shubhra vastradharaha, right? Shubhra vastranvita, ya kundendu tusharahara dhavala, ya Shubhra vastranvita, right? So, but Nila vastradhara is typically Shani. And that is why his Vahanam is also Kakaha, crow. All black. Dark is the negative sign. So Nila vastradharaha, Nila parushaha, dhvajastamurdhajaha. Dhvastamurdhajaha. Murdhajaha is hairs, the hair lock. Parushaha became very, very hard, rough hair. Normally, it will be soft, well-groomed hair, right, for a civilized person. But once he became Chaṇḍāla, once he accepted Chaṇḍālata, his hair also now became unkempt, uncombed hair. Dhvastamurdhajaha, parushaha, neelaha, dark dhvastamurdhajaha. Oh, there is one more line here also. Chityamalyānulepascha.
Chityamalyānulepascha.
Ayasabharano bhavat.
Ayasabharano bhavat.
So Chittamalya, Chiti Amalyanu Lepaha. Lepaha is the powder or paste or whatever you would apply, applying powder. Lepanam, we say, right? So any powder and all that you apply on your body, face, etc. So let's see. Oh, this is 57. Okay. So Chityamalya, Amalya is the, what do you say? Amalya is Malya is all the flowers and all that you apply for God when you are doing offering puja and all. Amalya is discarded ones. So Amalya, Chiti Amalya Anulepaha. So that means his literally his physical form and body, all of it went into that kind of. So Chaṇḍālatvarupameva bodhayannaha nila iti nila vastradraha. Kincha Chityamalyānulepaha. Chitihi smashanam tatra bhavam chityam. So whatever is the ash kind of a thing that you get in smashana is chitihi. Chiti is essentially dead body, or the that stage that you where dead body is cremated is chitihi, right? That on fire. So the left out of it is chityam. Chitihi tataha bhasmam is chityam. So chityam malyanulepaha. Malyanulepaha is pushpakara anulepaha. So he has applied all that smashana bhasma and the left out flowers there in that smashana land. So with all of that, Chitya Malyanulepascha Ayasabharano bhavat. So with all of that, that is how he has decorated himself essentially. Tam drushtva mantrinas sarve.
Tam drushtva mantrinas sarve.
Tyajya Chaṇḍālarupinam.
Tyajya Chaṇḍālarupinam.
Pradravan sahita Rama.
Prabravan sahita Rama.
Pauraye asyanugaminaha.
Sir, can you repeat, Bhagaji?
Paura ye syanugaminaha.
Paura ye syanugaminaha.
So tam drishtva. So now, after he turned himself into that Chandala Rupa and Trishanku, when he returned back to his ministers, Mantrinaha means ministers in Bahuvachanam. Mantrinaha tam drishtva, by looking at him, sarve tyajya, they gave up that place. Chandala Rupinam tyajya. All of them have given up this Trishanku, their king Trishanku, who is now in Chandala form, and Pradravan. Dravati is to flow or run. Pradravan, all of them ran away. Pauraha Sahitaha, along with all the other citizens and members of the council there. All of them have ran away. Ye asya anugaminaha. Those who were supposedly his followers, anugaminaha, those who follow him, go behind him. So followers. Suppose those ministers and citizens and council members who are supposed to be his followers have now, looking at the Chandala Rupa that he came in, got scared and they all ran away from him. That means they all have discarded him. Eko hi raja kakutsa.
Eko hi raja kakutsa
Jagama paramatmavan.
jagama paramatmavan.
Dakhyamano divaratram.
Dahyamano divaratram.
Vishwamitram tapodhanam.
Vishwamitram tapodhanam.
Hey Rama, so thus when all of them have ran away, finally Ekaha, so he remained alone. Ekaha, he, Raja, Paramatmavan, with still lot of confidence or keeping himself up. Paramatmavan, Raja, Jagama, Dakhyamanaha. Dakhyamanaha is being burning. Dahanam bhavati asti dakhyamanaha. So in a burning state, that means burning with all that insult, burning with his pursuance, of course, to fulfill his desire. So dakhyamanaha divaratram, day and night, round the clock, with that indignancy, with that insulted fire in him. Finally, Tapodhanam Vishwamitram Jagama. He finally went up to the Tapodhana Vishwamitra. And so that means he finally reached Vishwamitra. Here onwards, we all know the story, right? What he did, what did Vishwamitra do for Trishanku's sake? So we continue that story now. Vishwamitrastutam drishtva.
Vishwamitram stutam drishtva.
Rajanam Vipalikritam.
Rajanam Vipalikutam.
Chandala Rupinam Rama.
Chandala Rupinam Rama.
Munih Karunyamagataha.
Munih Karunyamagataha.
Vishwamitraha Vipalikritam tam Rajanam Chandala Rupinam drishtva. Vishwamitra, by looking at that Raja in the objective form, Dvitiya Vibhakti becomes Rajanam. Chandala Rupi, Chandala Rupinam. Vipalikritaha, Vipalikritam. So all of these are adjectives of that object called Raja. So by looking at that Raja, who is in the Chandala form and who is a failure now because both his guru and guru's sons have disapproved his strange wish. By looking at him, Vipalikritam Chandala Rupinam Rama or Rama, Karunyam Munihi Karunyam Agataha. Vishwamitra Munihi came to, sort of sympathy. Karunyam Agataha. He felt sympathy for this Raja Trishanku. Arey, poor fellow. See, because this happens to all of us also, right? If we generally look at the last moment, we only look at that moment, a person in agony, we try to get sympathy. Arey, poor fellow. But we don't actually know the entire past because of which he ended into this sympathy, right? And so then we try to do a favor for him. Whereas if we know the entire past, entire activities that he went through because of which he ended up here, then we will not be trying to help him because it is incorrect. It is adharmic, right? So likewise, it happens the other way also. We might hate somebody in the current moment that we look at him without realizing why did he end up into that wrong situation, what all led him to this situation. So that means we should understand. Once we understand, then we can make the right choice whether to help him or correct him. So that is what is the lesson to be learned here. But whereas Vishwamitra, they are just looking at, you are a Raja, you become a Chandala, you are discarded by all of your people, your ministers, and your own Guru and Guru's sons. Ayo. He got that sympathy. Karunyam agataha. Karunyat samaha teja.
Karunyat samaha teja.
Vakyam paramadharmikaha.
Vakyam paramadharmikaha.
Idam jagada bhadram te.
Idam jagada bhadrante.
Rajanam ghora rupinam.
Rajanam ghora rupinam.
So jagada is another verb. To talk, reply, answer, speak.
Litter.
Litlakar, jagada. Idam jagada, he replied. Karunyat, out of that sympathy. Saha mahatejaha, paramadharmikaha. Vakyam, idam vakyam jagada. He replied back this answer out of sympathy to that Chandala Rupi Viphalīkritaha Triśanku Raja. What did he say? Bhadram te. Unto that Raja, he replied, oh, all the best to you. Don't worry. I'll take care of you. I'll help you. Bhadram te. Kimagamana karyam te.
Kimaganam gamanam karyante.
Rajaputra Mahabala.
Rajaputra Mahabala.
Ayodhyadipate Veera.
Ayodhyadipate Veera.
Shapat Chaṇḍālatvam gataha.
Shapat chaṇḍālatvam gata.
So he's asking, Kimagamanam karyam. What made you come to me? Ayodhyadipate. You are king of Ayodhya. Mahabala. Very strong fellow. Rajaputra. You're a prince. You're a king. Shapat. I can see that you are a Raja, but you are looking like a Chandala now. Definitely somebody has cursed you. So Shapat Chaṇḍālatvam gataha. Am I right that you were cursed by somebody, and hence you are into this Chandala Rupa? Kim, why did you come? What is the purpose? Why did it happen? Tell me details. Essentially, is the kind of question he's asking. Atha tadvakyamajñāya.
Adatadvakyamākhyāya.
Raja Chaṇḍālatvam gataha.
Raja Chaṇḍālatvam gataha.
Abravīt pranjalirvakyam.
Abravit pranjalim vakyam.
Vakyajño vakyakovidam.
Vakyajño vakyakovidam.
If you see, we should also understand there is something called Kavi Manas. As a reader of a text, we should understand the heart of the author. What is the purpose? What is his intent for every word that he's using? Especially a Rishi like Valmiki, when he writes and keeps using certain adjectives, we should try to understand why he's using those adjectives. Over and over, he's saying Chaṇḍālatvam gataha, Chaṇḍālatvam gataha, Chaṇḍālatvam gataha. Right? Even here, see, very Vishwamitra asked, Ayodhyadipate Veera, Shapat Chaṇḍālatvam gataha. And again, in narration, Valmiki is again saying, Atha tadvakyam ajñāya. By recognizing or by realizing the question of Vishwamitra. Chaṇḍālatvam gataha raja. Chaṇḍālatvam gataha is again an adjective. In Atul Mohdaya, Kīdrusha Rūpam, Chaṇḍālatvam gataha raja.
Chaṇḍālatvam gataha. Past participle.
No,
This is
Samskrite,
Chaṇḍālatvam.
Asmakam, not in English. Samskritena, Chaṇḍālatvam gataha iti. Gataha.
Iti kta pratyaya. Chaṇḍālatvam iti Shatru pratyaya.
Shatru pratyaya. Gataha.
Gata iti do kta pratyaya.
Parantu atra tu kta pratyaya. Kta pathitaha.
Kta pratyaya.
यह गतवान सह गतः यह चंडालताम गतवान सह चंडालताम गतः. So one who has, so that it now becomes an adjective. So that visheshanam bhavati. Raja कीदृशः raja चंडालताम गतः raja. So again by saying चंडालताम गतः, Valmiki is trying to instill in our minds, hey, that if the Chaṇḍālatvam gataha, Chaṇḍālatvam, Chaṇḍālatam, if we remember that, then we will be conscious in our behavior. We will be conscious in our desires, that we don't go overboard in seeking certain things. Otherwise, we might also end up with Chaṇḍālatvam, just like triśanku. So I think that is how I'm understanding Valmiki, referring it over and over, Chaṇḍālatvam gataha. So tad ajñāya, jnanam prapya, ajñāya. That means by understanding the question, or by listening to the question of Vishwamitra. Abravit, Raja Abravit, he replied. What did he say? Pranjalihi, in Pranjali Vakyam, in Pranjali Mudra. Again we said, right? So these are some of the things that we want to learn as our cultural expressions. Always when we talk with revered people, we are in Pranjali Mudra and Natamastakaha and speak to them. When we meet a Swamiji, when we meet a great learned person, elderly person, fulfilled person, experienced person, then we Natamastakaha Pranjalihi Vakyam Abravit. Vakyajnaha Vakyakovidam. Triśanku is also not an ordinary useless fellow, right? He is Ayodhyadipati. Just that he had this strange desire. So Vakyajnaha is also very good at his speech. And hence he would talk to Vakyakovida Vishwamitra. Vakyakovidam is Dvitiya Vibhakti. So
Spoken to.
Spoken to. So he spoke to Vakyakovida, being Vakyajna. So Vakyajna is the Kartrupadam, Vakyakovidam is the Karmapadam.
Karmapadam.
So his reply, Pratyakhyatosmi Guruna,
प्रत्याख्यातोऽस्मि गुरुणा
Guruputraistathaiva cha,
गुरुपुत्रैस्तथैव च
Anavapyaiva tam kamam,
अनवाप्यैव तं कामं
Maya prapto viparyayaha.
मया प्राप्तो विपर्ययः.
So he's saying, Pratyakhyatosmi, I've been denied in narration, in explanation by my Guru and Guru Putrais Tathaivacha, and also by his sons. Anavapya eva, avapya means prapya, by obtaining. Anavapya, by unobtaining. See, un is the un. In English, whatever we use as un as the negative prefix, un, is essentially the same. Anavapya, unobtained. Having unobtained tam kamam, having unobtained that desire of mine, maya viparyayaha praptaha. I thought of fulfilling my desire, but instead of obtaining the fruit of the desire that I wanted, I obtained this viparyayaha. I ended up in this danger of, or in this, calamity, or in this dirty situation, this pitiful situation of Chandal Rupam. So Maya tam kamam anavapya viparyayaha praptaha. That is the reply he gave. And he's continuing. Sashariro divam yayam.
Sashariro divam yaya
Iti me saumya darshanam.
iti me saumya darshanam.
Maya cheshtam kratushatam.
Maya cheshtam kratushatam.
Taccha navapyate phalam.
Taccha navapyate phalam.
So he's continuing his explanation of what is that maya anavapyatam kamam. What is that kamam? He's now explaining. Sashariram divam yayam. Divam, divlokam. Divam. Again, that is the destined object. Divam sashariraha yayam. Yayam is gacheyam.
Gachayam, vidiling.
Vidiling. So I shall go with this body, with this physical material body. I shall go to Divloka, to the Swargaloka, to the divine world. Iti mama asha. Taccha na avapyate phalam. So, sa shariro divam yayam iti kratushatam cha maya ishtam. He knew that in order to go that way, I have to do some specific or some specialized yajnas, some specialized kratus, yajnas. So I knew it. Cha ishtam. I also wanted to perform those yajnas. But to perform the yajnas, I need purohita. I need a big group of purohitas, right? All of them. And so I went to them. They did not. So sashariraha divam yayam iti cha maya kratushatam ishtam. Taccha na avapyate phalam. I want to do such yajna, but I'm not getting, nobody is helping me perform it. I went to gurus, they didn't perform. He disapproved it. I went to his sons, they also disapproved it. So saumya darshanam. By looking at you, of course, I think. So he's trying to be positive, speaking positively with Vishwamitra. Saumya darshanam. Saumya, with your darshanam, I think I may get it. Is kind of an implication is making it here. Anrutam nokta purvam me.
Anrutam nokta purvam me.
Nacha vakshe kadachana.
Nacha vakshe kadachana.
Kruchreshvapi gata saumya.
Krutveshpi gata saumya.
Kruchreshvapi gata saumya.
Saumya.
Kshatra dharmena te shape.
Kshatra dharmena te shape.
Anrutam nokta purvam. I didn't talk anything wrong. I didn't lie before. Anrutam nokta purvam me. Nacha vakshe kadachana. Nor shall I speak any time in the future. Vakshe is future tense, bhavishyat kalam. Ukta purvam is past tense. So neither did I speak anything wrong in the past, nor shall I speak anything wrong in the future. Na vakshe kadachana. Kruchreshu api gataha saumya kshatra dharmena te shape. Kruchreshu is all those difficult times. Kruchreshu api gataha. Even though I ended up in troublesome times, I have not spoken wrong in the past, nor will I speak wrong in the future. Saumya, Kshatra dharmena, I went by my Kshatra dharma. I wanted this, so I went to my gurus, my Kula gurus. That's my Kshatra dharma to ask them. But te shape, but instead they have cursed me. Yajnair bahuvidhairishtam.
Yajnair bahuvidhairishtam.
Praja dharmena palitaha.
Praja dharmena palitaha.
Guravascha mahatmanaha.
Guravascha mahatmanaha.
Shila vrittena toshitaha.
Shila vrittena toshitaha.
So he's continuing to say, introducing himself. He's doing his parichaya. And so not only did I'm a good guy, is essentially what he's trying to say. And so my request could be treated as a genuine request. My desire could be a genuine desire, is what he's trying to do in his parichaya. So bahuvidhaihi yajnaihi ishtam. I have performed several kinds of yajnas even in the past. For what reason? Dharmena prajaha palitaha. So that all my people are well fed and taken care of by dharma, in the dharma vidha, in the dharma way, dharmic way. So, and guravascha mahatmanaha shila vrittena toshitaha. All the gurus, mahatmas, all the great mahatmas, gurus, they were also toshitaha. They were also very pleased. They were also very happy. Shila vrittena, with my character and that character based vartanam. Vritti is by character, that character based activities, that character based living. By living by my good character and living that character, even my gurus were happy for all the activities that I have done in the past and for my anrita vakyam. Na vakshe kadachana, na purvam uktam. With all that behavior, I was a good guy and even my gurus were happy about it. Dharme prayatamanasya
Dharme prayatamanasya
yajnam charhatu michchataha
Yagnam charhatu michchataha.
paritosham nagachanti
Paritosham nagachanti.
guravo munipungavaha.
Guravo munipungavaha.
However, dharme prayatamanasya, prayatnam ya karoti, one who is continuing the endeavors, is called prayatamanaha. One who is doing the prayatnam continuously is called prayatamanaha. So dharme prayatamanasya, of me who is continuing the endeavors to be in dharma, yajnam cha ahartum ichchataha, of me who is also wanting to perform this additional yajna, this new special significant yajna. Paritosham nagachanti. They are not happy with this. Guravaha munipungavaha. Gurus, which means Guru and his sons, all of them, that whole scholarly group. They are not happy with this yajna. They are happy with the rest all the things that I've done in my life so far. But just this desire of mine alone and the yajna that I want to perform to fulfill that desire, they are not happy. Paritosham nagachanti. Daivam eva param manye.
Daivameva param manyo
Manye.
manye.
Paurusham tu nirarthakam.
Paurusham tu nirdhakam.
Daivanam akramyate sarvam.
Daivana kramyate sarvam.
Kshamatam. Daivena akramyate sarvam.
Daivena kramyate sarvam.
Daivam hi paramagatihi.
Daivam hi paramagati.
See, he's speaking like Arjuna now. Seems all good. His entire speech is saying so good, right? He's saying, I'm a good guy, I've done everything, I've pleased my gurus, my people were happy, my gurus were happy. Just that this one alone, they're not happy. Like some people say, right? Oh, Ravana is such a great guy. Just that he did one mistake of, kidnapping Sita. Hello. Likewise, just one desire. No? Daivameva param manye. Daivam. In Nyaya Shastra, Daivam means prarabdha phalam adrushtam. Daivamatra prarabdha phalam adrushtam. Typically, in our Vedic Sahityam, when we say Daivam, it is not necessarily any form of a god or deity. It is essentially that undeterministic, known, unreasonable or unreasonable, that one that you cannot reason out, factor which is finally determining the fruit. Adrushtam, you do not know, you cannot see. There is that ultimate, you analyze, diagnose, debug. Finally, you lose at one point. Yeah, all other factors I'm able to, but all of these factors have seemed favorable for a favorable result. In spite of that, why did we get a wrong result? Daivam tatra karanam. Daivam tatra panchamam, says, right? Bhagavan also in the Bhagavad Gita. Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha pratakvedam pratakcheshtaha vividhascha pratakcheshtaha daivam tatra panchamam. He says there are 5 factors for the result of any activity. First of all, you need adhishtanam, and we use this as for karyakartas. Often we use this shloka, right? How should a karyakarta know in preparing himself for taking up projects, taking up any karya? First one we say is adhishtanam. You should understand the job description. You should understand the philosophy. You should understand the intent, the purpose of that job. So adhishtanam, what is the basis, the foundation of the work that we are taking up, of our Hindu Sangatana Karya, etc. So adhishtanam. And then tatha karta. Once we understand it, then we become karta. We accept the ownership of that activity. Karta. Then karanam. So various types of tools we require for it. Karanam is device, tool, methodology, all the helping support. The tools, we have our own Karya Paddhati, so many tools, right? We say Biotech, Varga, Sampark, Atmiya Bhavana, Prema, all of these are our tools. And then Biotech in the Yojana, Samaya Sarini, assignments, all of that planning work is the Karanam. So adhishtanam, karta, karanam, vividhascha cheshtaha, vividhascha cheshtaha, pratak. Different kinds of activities. So as part of that Samaya Sarani, we say, okay, even to the minutest detail, we go and say, who is doing parichay, who is the anchor, who is doing Subhashitam, Geet, Amritvachan, who is giving the maybe mala or a bouquet to the chief guest. Every minute detail activity, cheshtaha, various activities, right? Vividhascha pratak cheshtaha. So, is there anything left out for planning for a successful karyakram, for planning for a successful activity, project? That is what is required. You need to thoroughly understand what we need to do, identify the right owners for various for this project, give him all the tools, Karanani, and then detailed plan, project plan of all the tasks, Vividah Cheshtaha. There cannot be anything more left out. In spite of all of this proper planning and execution, things might sometimes fail. Then how do we explain there? Daivam tatra panchamam. This is, there is a Daiva factor, which unexplainable, unpredictable. So leave it to that. If it works out or does not matter. So that is the Daivam factor. It's a small digression, but most of us are science work. So, and we use this shloka quite so often in our Sangha Siksha Varga, etc. So I re-quoted that only to explain why Daivam is, what Daivam means. Daivam is not specifically any form of a deity, but Daivam is tatra prarabdha phalam adrushtam, is how it is also mentioned in the Bhashyam here. Undeterminable, something that has fell upon us, which is like adrushtam. unseen.
Mogaji, sorry to interrupt. Can we say that the one who gives you the karma phala is the
Karma
God?
phala pradata is called Ishvara.
Ishvara,
Technical
is God.
term. Technical term called Ishvara in Nyaya Shastra, Sankhya Shastra, in most of those darshanas, including our Vedanta Upanishads also. The first definition term, Ishvara karma phala pradata. Who is the finally for every activity, the result, there is a result, and the result is determined, given to us by Ishvara. That means now you don't worry about it. It is not in your hands. Is the first disclaimer made in the Vedanta Shastra. And the Karma Siddhanta. And hence, hey, there is Ishvara. And then there is the fifth factor, like sixth sense. Fifth factor called Daivam, which is also we do not know. So don't worry. Come on, do your activity. Is what the whole teaching of Bhagavad Gita for. Is that the question, Raghuji? Is that the answer you wanted?
Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Ishvara karma phala pradata. So Daivam eva param manye. Hey, I feel Daivam is ultimate. And that thing is because first all I tried. I went to gurus, I explained. Genuinely, I requested them. In spite of that, they have declined. That means Daivam param manye. Paurusham tu nirarthakam. Paurusham means, what is Paurusham? In different languages, as we understand. Let us see. We have Kannada, we have Marathi, we have Telugu.
Speaking in rude language or
That is how we understand Paurusham in Telugu.
Is a manhood. Paurusham is manhood.
Paurusham.
Paurusham is a manhood, right?
Purushasya idam Paurusham.
Paurusham. Tadita.
So Purusha again does not necessarily mean man here. Purusha is Pure Stha Purusha. Means any living body, especially human beings, essentially. So most of the time when we say Purusha, it is not necessarily the Pullinga Puman, but it is human being, is what is said. So human being's quality is Paurusham. Means person's effort. Person, let us say person, not human being, person. So, Daivameva param manye Paurusham tu nirarthakam. I think the humanly effort is waste, nirarthakam, purposeless. Because looks like Daivam eva param. My effort seemed waste, futile, but Daivam seems like ultimate, because I do not know why they have declined my request. Daivam eva param manye Paurusham tu nirarthakam Daivena akramyate sarvam. It seems like everything is occupied by or is pervaded by. Everything is pervaded by the Daivam. Sarvam Daivam hi paramag. Daivena akramyate sarvam. Everything is pervaded by that Daivam. So Daivam hi paramagatihi. Seems like the only destination, only ultimate option, only resort is that Daivam eva. Tasya me paramartasya.
Tasya me paramartasya.
Prasadam abhikankshitaha.
Prasadam abhikankshitaha.
Kartumarhasi bhadram te.
Kartumarhasi bhadram te.
Daivopa hata karmanaha.
Daivopa hata karmanaha.
This seems Daivopa hata karmanaha. Let us see the Bhakti. 24. Dhanim tat kartavyamaha paramartasya atyanta dukkham praptasya prasadam aham daivam. So prasadam svachitta prasannata bhikankshatatasya guruputraihi शब्दस्य मे मम प्रसादं कर्तुमर्हसि ते भद्रमस्तु प्रसादं. Why is it not explained? Okay. Where are we? Daiva upahata karmanaha. Hata is hit by, killed by. No, in fact, good. Hata, hit. Hit is hata. When you are hit, sometimes you are killed, sometimes you are hurt. So, daivena daivena karmanaha hataha. I am hurt or I am hit by the daiva karma, by that gods, or that by the destinies, by that fortunes. Fortune as in not positive, negative fortune also, bad fortune also, bad luck. By that bad luck, one who is affected by bad luck is daivopahata karmanaha. I am daivopahata karmanaha. Tasya me. Daivopahata karmanaha tasya me paramarthasya prasadam abhikankshataha kartumarhasi. So I am hit by the bad luck. I am hit by bad luck. I am suffering by bad luck. Daivopahata karmanaha of such me, tasya me, parama arthasya, arti, right? So again, artha word reminds again Bhagavad Gita. Anyone remembers the shloka with artha from Bhagavad Gita? Chaturvidha bhajante mam. Now anyone remembers?
Artha, Jidnyasu, Mumukshu, and Artha.
Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritinaha Arjuna arti jignasuhu artharthi jnani cha Bharatarshabha. He says there are 4 kinds of people who seek me. Bhajante mam, who serve me, seek me. First one is arti, one who is in suffering. Yearning. Arti, yearning. One who is in bad, desperately seeking something out of pain, out of misery. So that is arti typically. One who is in bad straits, bad times, no money, all money lost, or suffering with diseases, no support from family, friends. They are artis. Arti, artharthi. The other one says artha, seeking a material benefit. Arthi is a seeker of material benefit. Not that he is suffering, but he is a seeker of it. Oh, I want to become a CEO. I want this $1 million. I want this next, business. In fact, get rid of my competitors. All these seekers are arthis. Sometimes, very rarely, somebody might seek a good artha also. Like for example, we all did, right, during the 2014 and 19 elections also. By all of us, we did the sankalpa. Bharata Deshasya Dharma Samsthapanartham. Bharata Deshaya Sukshatriya Praptyartham. Even I used to do this sankalpa every day and do my Sandhyavanam and puja, saying, please give a Sukshatriya for Bharat Desham. If this time we don't get, we are dooms, we are gone forever. So please give us that Kshatriya. And that was also artharthi. That was also artha, but that was a good artha for the bigger welfare. Just as we say, sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya. It's also artharthi. So arti, artharthi, arti jignasuhu. Jignasuhu, just jnane ichha yasya saha jignasuhu. There are some who are inquisitive guys, curious guys, always wanting to know more. They are jignasus. Even jignasus seek God. Hey, why is this? How is it like this? Why is it like this? Sometimes in quest of unfulfilled answers, or sometimes with all the praise. And then jnani, finally, one who has realized, knowledgeable of the entire. I mean, universe is also a short term. We have no words nowadays, as our Vangmaya can express. Universe, but then we know there are several universes. Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. Right? So one who has realized that, oh, that God who is pervading everywhere, is in everything, everything in him, he in everything, all of that ultimate abstraction, once he realizes, is jnani. So these four kind of people seek me, he says. Sorry for these digressions, but then some of these words, as soon as we hear, we should remember those shlokas, I thought. So I quoted them. So, tasya me parama artasya. So he belongs to the first category. He says, I am an arti here. And that to parama arti. I am somehow preoccupied with this desire of somehow performing that, finding that right person who can guide me to do the yajna so that I can reach Swargaloka sasharira. Tasya me paramartasya abhikankshataha. I am one who is kanksha. Kanksha is that desire of one of me, of the desirous me wanting to go sasharira. Prasadam kartum arhasi. You will be able to please me. Bhadram te. All the best to you. You will be able to please me. Is what he is concluding his prayer to Vishwamitra with. Na anyam gatim gamishyami.
Nanyam gatim gamishyami.
Nanya sharanamasti me.
Nanya sharanamasti me.
Daivam purushakarena.
Daivam purushakarena.
Nivartayitum arhasi.
Nivartayitum arhasi.
So he is finally concluding his prayer with Nanyam gatim gamishyami. Even Purusha Suktam, Narayana Suktam, they also conclude with Nanya Pantha Ayanaya Vidyate. Anyaha Pantha Ayanaya Na Vidyate. Ayanam, the path.
Chant.
To seek you, Anyaha Pantha Na Vidyate. There doesn't exist any other path than to go this way to seek you. Nanyah panthayanaya vidyate. Likewise, here also is saying, Na anyam gatim gamishyami. There is no other person, there is no other option that I can, there is no other resort that I can go to. You are my destiny. Na anyam gatim gamishyami. Na anyaha sharanam asti me. Nobody else can give me shelter. There is no other shelter for me. There is no other refuge for me. Na anyaha sharanam asti me. Daivam purushakarena. Daivam manusharupena is another big quotation we keep hearing, right? But there is one Telugu movie also made with that caption. Daivam manusharupena. A movie called Kaleja. And this caption for it is Daivam manusharupena. So there he tries to show, hey, God is, how does God show up? How does godliness show up? It shows up only in human beings. Only if we manifest the divinity and perform everything that God wishes to perform, then God is being demonstrated, is shown to everyone. So Daivam Manusharupena. That same way here also, Triśanku is also saying Daivam Purushakarena. Through the human, with your human efforts, Daivam Nivartayitum Arhasi, you will be able to get rid of, or you will be able to subside or you'll be able to eliminate the Daivam factor with your humanly effort, Vishwamitra. You will be able to probably eliminate that Daivam effort, factor, so that with the rest 4 factors, you will be able to perform. You are there, I'm there as Karta. Both of you understand my purpose, my requirement, which is Adhishtanam. And yes, Yajnam, all the Yajna is the Karanam. And as part of that Yajna, various mantras, various Homa, etc., all the activities that we do are the vaśiṣṭha. Daivam, you avoid it. Nivartayatu. Nivartayatu is displace, move it away, make it non-existent. Nivartayatu. Vartate is exists. Nivartayatu, make it non-existent. Nivartayitum arhasi. You are eligible, you are capable to make that Daivam factor non-existent with your Purusha Karanam, with your humanly efforts. You will be able to get rid of that Daivam. Is what is finally concluding his prayer with. Ityarshe Srimad Ramayane Valmikiye Adi Kavye Balakande Ashtapanchasha Sargah. Can anybody say Shanti Mantra? Srirangji.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Stop recording.